guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're gonna dive deep into a topic that affects many of us with ADHD, fatigue. We're gonna talk about why we might feel so tired all the time and how we can fix it. Do you ever find yourself feeling exhausted even if you had a good night's sleep? Or do you feel like you're unmotivated to start anything new or even socialize with your friends? I promise you, you're not alone. You could be doing everything right. You could be getting enough sleep, you could be eating healthy, exercise, meditate, and you still can find yourself going through this and feeling tired during the day. I personally have gone through this recently to a point that I was so worried that I would never get out of it. I couldn't find the point of doing anything in life. I was not making any videos on YouTube. Every idea that I had seemed so pointless. I just wanted to be on the couch and binge watch Netflix, that's all. And to be honest, if I wasn't planning my wedding at this time, I would probably just never get out of bed. So thank God for that. I've been watching so many videos, reading a lot of research, and listened to a lot of podcasts recently from the experts in the industry to find out why I'm feeling like this. And it came down to fatigue or depression. Since they both have very similar, symptoms, I decided to focus on fatigue and I make sure that I can rule that out before I diagnose myself with depression. I definitely don't recommend that you guys do that and self-diagnose yourself. I really do recommend that you guys talk to your doctor and get referred to a therapist. However, since I'm passionate on research and experimenting on myself, I decided to take that path, and I'm so honored to be able to share the result of my research and experience with you guys now that I feel like a new person. I think it's my duty at this point to share the result of my research and experience with you guys in this video, and don't worry, I won't be telling you to eat clean and exercise. We will get so much deeper than that. We will talk about the symptoms, why people like us with ADHD experience fatigue more. We will talk about the vitamins and minerals that we need to take, how to check and control our cortisol and dopamine levels, and how to take care of our gut microbiome. So if you're excited like I am, buckle up, grab a pen and paper, and let's get into it. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Seppi and I'm passionate about health, nutrition, weight loss, and living with ADHD. As someone who has personally lost over 50 pounds and understands the challenges of living with ADHD, I'm excited to share my experiences, knowledge, and tips with you guys to help you on your own health journey. My videos are all about providing practical, evidence-based information and strategies that you can implement in your daily life to improve your health, optimize your nutrition, manage your weight, and thrive with ADHD. So before we continue, I wanted to clear something out. So some of the symptoms of fatigue could be tiredness during the day, could be sleepiness, muscle ache, loss of motivation, and not being able to concentrate. They do share a lot of commonality, these symptoms, with the symptoms of depression. So they are often misdiagnosed, or you could be depressed and then misdiagnose you for fatigue, or you could be fatigued and you may get misdiagnosed for depression. So it's very important to know the difference. Now, I'm not going to be teaching you that. As I said earlier, we're going to focus and assuming this is fatigue and rule everything out. If you're doing all of these right, then it would be very important to see a doctor, or even before that, if that's something you feel comfortable. I'm assuming you're watching this video because you wanted to kind of rule some things out and you feel very tired and you don't feel like you're depressed, so you have a feeling that you're not depressed. So we're going to take care of that now. If you feel like your symptoms continue and you're not able to really apply the tips from this video, then you would definitely have to see a doctor and seek better help. Some of the fatigue symptoms are persistent tiredness. I mean, no matter how much sleep you get during the night or day, you're always tired. Decreased motivation, so it's usually hard to find motivation to do simple chores around the house even. Difficulty concentrating, so even if you get yourself to start on a task, you can't really concentrate on it, even more so than usual. Memory problems, not like the usual working memory issues that you have with ADHD, but for example, you can't remember what you had for lunch. You may experience muscle weakness, aches, difficulty falling asleep, a leaky gut, extreme emotional changes, mood swings. You could be irritable, angry, feeling physically and mentally drained, feeling like you've hit a wall with no energy and your energy is never coming back. I've been there. If you're experiencing this, don't worry. story. I spent the last year thinking that I was depressed, and if it wasn't because of wedding planning, as I explained, I wouldn't have gotten off the couch. I would share a lot more in my future videos, but since I've been doing so much research on fatigue and ADHD, I wanted to share all the results with you guys. I'm so excited. It turns out that people who have ADHD actually experience more fatigue. Let's talk about why. Why do people with ADHD experience more fatigue? First off, the constant battle to stay focused and manage our daily responsibilities and sticking to our schedule, which we learned how to carefully design in this video, can take a toll on our energy levels. It's not a joke. It's a never-ending list that is running through your mind and you're worried about not getting it done. Let me know in the comment if you have ADHD and you also feel that's a challenge and you feel sleepy during the day. I know I do. It turns out that we're not alone. A study published in the Journal of Attention Disorder in 2015 examined the relationship between ADHD symptoms and fatigue in adults. The researchers found that adults with ADHD reported significantly higher levels of fatigue compared to the people who didn't have ADHD. The study also revealed a positive correlation between the severity of ADHD symptoms and fatigue. So why is this the case? Unfortunately, the exact reasons behind the higher levels of fatigue experienced with people with ADHD are not fully understood, and it can vary from person to person. However, there's some general possible factors that we're going to talk about which are contributing to those. Now, I believe that when we understand why, then we can actually do something about it. The first thing is executive functioning difficulties. ADHD is characterized by impairments in executive functions, which basically means the effort that we put into paying attention, organization, planning, and time management. Now, I know it's a struggle. We go through this every single day. It's hard to sustain our attention and stay focused on whatever we're doing during the day. Now, we must constantly fight and redirect our energies and focus towards whatever we're doing at the moment. We have to put in extra effort to make lists, to fight distractions, to be able to follow those lists. As you guys already know, we love hyper-focusing on the tasks that we like, and we might lose track of time, and we might have a hard time managing our time, so it's going to cause us to rush through other things. It's a mess. All of these could actually cause a lot of mental and physical exhaustion, and on top of all of these, we might have difficulties managing our relationship with others and regulate our emotions, which can cause emotional exhaustion, which is not good as well. All of these are reasons that can lead to difficulties in regulating and managing our energy levels that can result in increased fatigue. That's why we experience more fatigue than other people, at least that's what I think. The side effect of these difficulties can be restlessness, insomnia, difficulty falling asleep, emotional dysregulation, and keep in mind if you're taking medications for ADHD, we might experience ADHD as a side effect of the drugs as well. So, and keep in mind that we're not alone. It's not exclusive to people with ADHD. A lot of people that live in this city and live stressful lives, they're also going through the same things. They work long hours, they have kids, they're living in the city, so they might be experiencing the same kind of issues and symptoms. So don't feel like ADHD is the only reason to blame. Like nowadays, our lifestyles are leading us to feel fatigue all the time. Now, we're going to talk about vitamins and minerals. So we all know that vitamins and minerals are like the superheroes of our body's health, right? Now, these are so important because when it comes to executive functioning and ADHD, these nutrients can have an indirect role in supporting brain functions. Now, we got some contenders in the mineral corner like iron and zinc and magnesium. Iron helps fight fatigue, zinc is the brain's secret weapon, and magnesium keeps those neurotransmitters in check. So they're all very important. But let's talk about the vitamins as well. Vitamin B, B12, folate, and vitamin D are very important for our brain health. Vitamin C and E are brain's antioxidants. Now, I'm not saying these vitamins and nutrients are the cure-alls to your fatigue, but they definitely play an important role. So make sure if you don't have them included in your diet, these are the nutrient-rich food that include all of these vitamins and minerals. So you can take a screenshot of it and make sure you include it in your daily grocery shopping. If you're not going to do that, make sure you supplement on them for sure, because they could be very well the reason that you are experiencing fatigue. Let's talk about cortisol. When we experience stress, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, the adrenal glands release cortisol as a part of the body natural's response to stress. Cortisol is not our enemy, as some people might think. It actually helps by regulating our metabolism, by how our body uses fats, proteins, and carbs to produce energy. Now, however, if you have chronic stress, it can actually lead to dysregulation to your adrenal glands and changes your cortisol response. So testing your cortisol levels through a simple blood test can actually give you this information, so you can actually get that checked and you will know where you stand with cortisol. So you can actually rule that out. It's a really important test. I really recommend you guys take it. Keep in mind that the cortisol levels throughout the day can change depending on what you're doing and what you're eating. And it also depends on the method that they're using to check it for you. But I want to kind of give you an idea and an example of what a healthy adult should expect for their cortisol levels to be. Mornings around 8 a.m., 6 to 23 micrograms per deciliter, so mcg per dl, or 165 to 635 nanomoles per liter. Or in the afternoons around 4 p.m., you're gonna have 2 to 12 mcg per dl. So evening around 11 p.m., it should be 1 to 8 microgram per deciliter, or 28 to 221 nanomole per liter. If your cortisol levels are abnormal, talk to your doctor and see what they advise you do. I totally understand that it's almost impossible to change your lives around and all of a sudden start taking naps in the middle of the day, or you do yoga every day. I get that our lives are super busy, so I'm going to give you some practical tips that you could actually apply to lower your cortisol levels effectively. So number one, if you're not going to meditate, incorporate deep breathing as many times as possible throughout the day. For example, make a deal with yourself, and every time you pick up your phone to look at Instagram or social media or TikTok, do 1 minute of deep breathing before and 1 minute after when you put your phone down. Now, this little tip is so useful and it will stick because it follows what we learned from the book in Atomic Habit. It's easy, it's attached to something that you regularly do anyway, so you're more likely to do it. Number two, if you don't want to exercise, taking walks, long walks in nature, 30 to 40 minutes every single day, can lower your stress significantly. Number three, if you're not going to go to sleep early and wake up early, pay attention and develop a routine that you follow every single day, even on the weekend. So go to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time. Once this is consistent, your body will learn how to take the most out of your sleep. And also taking a lukewarm shower before sleep and following a good sleep hygiene will help the better quality of your sleep. Number four, if you don't have time to cook, make sure you pick the healthiest options possible. Number five, if you're going to drink coffee and you're not going to quit it, that's fine. Make sure you drink it at the same time, drink the same amount at the same time every single day. If you're going to socialize, don't put so much pressure on yourself about your relationships and the drama. Just really keep the focus on socializing and feeling good. Once you focus on the drama and you talk about your experience while you're socializing with other people, it will drain you. So just focus on having fun and being present when you're socializing with other people. Now let's talk about dopamine. We've talked about it so much, and one of the primary theories about ADHD suggests that there is a dysregulation or imbalance in dopamine in our brains. Now, we've discussed that in all of our videos before, but I wanted to touch on it again in this video because it is related to this topic. Research has shown that individuals with ADHD have lower levels of dopamine or impaired dopamine signaling in certain areas that we needed for attention and executive function. So this dysregulation in people like us with ADHD can lead to us not being able to sustain attention and find motivation and control our impulses. Now, this all makes us look for dopamine fixes during the day. For example, we could get it from snacking on sweets, starting new projects, or spending a few hours on TikTok, whichever is easier at the moment. Don't worry, I'm not here to judge. I do this all the time. I'm on the same boat, but I wanted to remind you that all of these activities that we do trigger the release of dopamine, especially engaging with social media and gaming. These activities can be really highly stimulating. Practice digital detox. Trust me, this is the best thing you can do for yourself. Now, I want to get to know you guys, and let me know in the comments what your relationship is with your phone. Is it something that you could leave aside for a couple of hours, couple of minutes? How you feel about that? I would love to get to know you guys, so let me know in the comments. Go on our phones right now, go under screen time and select the apps that we go on the most and add a limit on them. Trust me, this helps. So the number one thing is practicing being present. If you're not able to be present with people that you're hanging out with, you need to work on this immediately, because that's something I struggled with as well. This is dopamine addiction, and you're being overly stimulated during the day, and this immediately results in fatigue. So take a break from your phone and see how much less fatigued you're going to be in a week. Taking breaks from our phones is crucial for us with ADHD. Too much stimulation from digital devices can actually lower our attention spans, which is, that's something exactly what we don't want. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when I had my own tutoring company, I had a lot of students who didn't have ADHD, or at least they weren't diagnosed with it, but because they were on their phone constantly, they experienced the same symptoms as people with ADHD. So imagine if we continue using our phones like them, it's going to be even worse for us, because we already have issues with concentration. So this is something I recommend you practice on a weekly basis and kind of increase it to daily as you go on. Okay, so we know that our guts and our brains are best buddies, and they're connected through a superhighway called vagus nerve. Now it's like a direct phone line between them, so they communicate all the time. So when our gut is not feeling its best, our brain can actually be impacted too. It turns out that the trillions of microorganisms living in our guts, known as the gut microbiome, are actually responsible for this connection. When the balance and our gut buddies get out of whack, it can actually cause trouble, because one problem is that it may lead to leaky gut, which is not what we want, because all the bad stuff, all the toxins are going to get into our bloodstream, which can trigger inflammation, which eventually is going to make us feel tired and fatigued. Now, obviously, eating healthy veggies and greens and fasting once in a while can help with that, but we can also consider some really good food to our routine. Probiotics are the superheroes of our gut, so they're really helpful. They're friendly bacteria. They can actually improve the health of our gut microbiomes. We can actually find it in yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and we can actually take it as supplement. I personally like taking neem pills. If you guys don't know, make sure that you definitely Google it. Neem has antimicrobial properties, which can help with parasites and bacteria in the gut, the harmful bacteria in the gut. You won't find the research that proves its benefits for gut microbiomes, but it's been used in the traditional medicine, so I really like using that. I want to briefly talk about my personal experience and one thing that truly changed everything for me. Even after I applied everything we talked about in this video, I still felt like I wasn't consistent with my energy. I basically ruled it out as getting old. I didn't have enough energy. I didn't have the drive anymore. I felt like I had failed at a lot of things. I had changed my direction a couple of times and nothing was working for me. Even my workouts, I wasn't taking as seriously. I was, going to the gym still, but I wasn't, putting my 100% in that. I remember when I was so excited, I had so much energy. I was dancing around in the house and I missed myself in my 20s. I wasn't feeling like that anymore and I was really sad. At this point, I was meditating, but it was never like an organized program that I was following. My husband introduced to me an online course that in December 2022, and it's called Inner Engineering. That's something I started. I did a course BSB at their center, and I started doing another program called Surya Kriya, which is physical yoga program. And I've been doing it twice a day, and I can't describe how I feel every single day. There's research done on their program, and it shows that it lowers your cellular inflammation, which puts your body in ease. And when your body feels more rested in terms of a cellular level, you feel so much better, and the fatigue is completely gone. I can't believe I'm experiencing this, and I had to share this with you guys because it plays a huge role and a huge part of my journey. I promise I'll talk about my experience in a separate video in future, and I want to talk about how hesitant I was to follow this path and how thankful I am that I did. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's been a huge part of my journey, and I hope you guys give it a try too. Remember, there could be a lot of other reasons for fatigue, such as sleep disorder, chronic medical condition, mental health condition, medication, anemia, hormonal imbalances due to pregnancy and menopause, poor nutrition, lack of physical activity, pain, pollutants, environmental activities, and toxins. However, I wanted to discuss the ones that are most commonly experienced, and I personally experience as well. So remember not to lose hope and make sure you see a consultant if you can. Remember, dealing with fatigue is not a one-size-fits-all journey. What works for me may not work for you. So it's important to listen to your body and try different approaches and find what works for you and gives you that oomph of energy and vitality. Now that you guys have heard all of these fantastic fatigue fighting tips, you're ready to conquer the world with a sparkle in your eye. Remember, you got the power to recharge, rejuvenate, and kick fatigue to the curb. I hope you guys all loved this video and found it inspiring. If you did, make sure you like it, share it with a friend who needs it, and comment below what you'd like to see next. Thanks for tuning in and joining me today. As always, don't forget to subscribe, stay energized, keep smiling, and take good care of yourselves. Until next time, stay fabulous and fatigue free. Love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.